Welcome to Addis News Hour. I'm Solomon Daniel. Thanks for joining me. Ethiopia has called upon members of the United Nations Security Council to urge Egypt and Sudan to return to the tripartite negotiations on the first filling and annual operation of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and respect the AU-led process. In a letter addressed to the current president of the UNSC on 16 April 2021, Ethiopia's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demeke Mekonnen recalled the AU-led process has enjoyed the full support of the UN Security Council on the basis of the principles of complementarity and in the spirit of finding African solutions to African problems. However, Egypt and Sudan are not negotiating in good faith and are not ready to make the necessary concessions to reach a win-win outcome, he said. He further stated that the two countries choose to scattling the negotiation and internationalizing the issue to exert undue pressure on Ethiopia. The letter affirmed Ethiopia's unwavering commitment and trust over the AU-led tripartite negotiation and expressed the country's gratitude for the genuine efforts of South Africa and now the Democratic Republic of Congo to address the matter in the spirit of African solutions for African problems. The letter also recalled Ethiopia's initiative on data exchange before the commencement of the second filling of the dam in the upcoming rainy season, which the two downstream countries declined to accept. The insistence by the two countries to maintain the unjust status quo and foreclose Ethiopia's water use upstream of the GERD under the pretext of concluding a binding comprehensive agreement is unacceptable, said the letter. The letter also underlined Ethiopia's firm commitment to the Declaration of Principles that was signed by the leaders of the three countries and noted that Egypt and Sudan are reneging their commitment that they have entered under the declaration. Ethiopia calls upon its diaspora to extend their financial support during the second water filling activity of GERD. Ethiopian diaspora and Ethiopian nationals have provided $50 million to realize the construction of their country's flagship project so far. has more.
Ethiopians at home and in the diaspora have been playing a pivotal role since the commencement of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam by providing financial and moral supporters. They have also been extending their roles through diplomatic efforts to give a speedy completion of Africa's mega hydropower dam project to GERD.
የኢትዮጵያ ህዳሴ ግድብ ለዲያስፖራ አንድ የሀገር ህልውና መገለጫ አድርገን ነው የምናስበው።
We, the Ethiopian diaspora community, take the GERD as an existential project of our nation. Each diaspora member has higher need to see the GERD project realized soon and supply energy and cause economic change to the nation and the region. There are members that have contributed up to $150,000 initially. After the completion of this mega project, every diaspora needs to see its social and economic advantage. We knew that some Ethiopian diasporas are sending high amount of money to finalize the construction of GERD.
Since the commencement of the project, Ethiopians and Ethiopian origins and the diaspora have been supporting it with finance, idea, moral and other efforts. Besides, they are relentlessly working to support and advocate the construction of GERD. We are currently observing its 10-year anniversary. Ethiopian diaspora have made financial support of over $50 million to construct GERD over the past 10 years. This is only the support in monetary terms.
ዲያስፖራ የራሱን አሻራ መጣል አለበት ብለን እናምናለን። ዲያስፖራ ያንን መጨረስ አለበት ብለን እናስባለን።
We, the Ethiopian diaspora community, believe that we have to make history by finalizing the construction of GERD. The Ethiopian embassy in US is supporting Ethiopian diasporas on how to maximize efforts, raise funds, as well as to put fingerprints to realize this flagship project at every 50 states.
Efforts are needed to scale up Ethiopian diaspora financial support to maximize the recent 79% overall construction performance of GERD.
የኢትዮጵያ ህዳሴ ግድብ ሁለተኛ ዙር ውሃ አሞላል
The second water feeling activity of GERD is very sensitive and serious. Everyone needs to manage it wisely until the completion of GERD. We are hopeful by the recent government's position on GERD. Thus, we have to extend our financial support.
ቤተሰቦቻችን መስዋዕትነት ከፍለው ያልኩ 79% ድረስ አድርሰውታል። ቀሪው
Our family paid sacrifices and construct 79% of this mega project. The remaining construction phase of this project is our part. We have put our fingerprint to the coming generation. We have to prepare a history to tell our children. I think fundraising and diplomatic work are the major effort that I have to work. I hope financing this flagship project is the most needed activity. I believe that we have to utilize 50 states' strategy to undertake more fundraising activity.
Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has announced that the second phase filling will be carried out during the coming rainy season. When the grid goes fully operational, it will provide electric access for over 65 million Ethiopians.
Ambassador of Ethiopia to Sudan, Yveltal Amuro, held discussions with head of IGAD mission in Sudan, Osman Hassan Bilal, on regional issues of common interest. During the discussion, Ambassador Yveltal briefed Osman Hassan Bilal about developments on the boundary issue with Sudan as well as the negotiation process of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. He expressed Ethiopia's readiness to reach an amicable solution on both files and its unwavering commitment to the prevalence of peace and security in the region. Ambassador Yveltal reiterated Ethiopia's readiness to support IGAD in its efforts to play a constructive role in promoting peace and security in the region. Osman Hassan Bilal, on his part, thanked the ambassador for the briefing and mentioned that IGAD is closely following these regional developments with keen interest. Osman reaffirmed IGAD's readiness to play a positive role towards the peaceful resolution of any differences among its member states.
Ethiopia is the source of the Blue Nile and contributes over 85% of the Nile's stream flow. To this day, Egypt and Sudan are using 100% of the water, sticking to their 1959 colonial agreement between them. Not being signatories, Ethiopia and other upstream states do not recognize this agreement. Ethiopia is at the eve of completing the Great Renaissance Dam. Costing over $5 billion that is being paid by ordinary Ethiopians. This dam will generate 5.1 gigawatt of power, and it is a non-consumptive, eco-friendly, existential necessity to millions. The three countries have been in dispute over the construction, filling and operation of this dam. Even thought this dam provides major benefits to Sudan and Egypt in terms of reducing evaporation loss, silt, sedimentation and unexpected flood. This dam is not just about generating power. It is a matter of survival for millions of Ethiopians who deserve a dignified life as their Egyptian counterparts.
This is Addis News Hour. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demeke Mekonnen has held talks with the European Union Commissioner for Crisis Management, Ambassador Janis Lenarčič, on various issues. The two sides have had discussions over the commendable efforts that the government has been undertaking so far and ways to mitigate observed challenges in delivering humanitarian support to affected people in the Tigray region. Commissioner Lenarčič appreciated the improved access in the region that cut bureaucratic hurdles, while he pointed out that the intensification of the campaign in the region made some rural areas inaccessible to humanitarian support. Ambassador Lenarčič commended the agreement of Ethiopian Human Rights Commission and UN to jointly investigate alleged human rights violations in the region, and appreciated the announcement of the withdrawal of Eritrean troops, underscoring the need to expedite the process. The Deputy Prime Minister, on his part, said commendable improvements have been registered so far in improving the lives of many people in Tigray, although the government is still facing enormous challenges to tackle there. The government is ready to mitigate the problems observed in the region, and partners would register better results in this regard if they constructively engage in supporting the government's genuine efforts than wasting time in throwing unnecessary criticisms, he said. Regarding the visa extension request by partners, Demeke said the government is further consulting on the issue, while the quest for access to communication equipment by humanitarian partners in the region will be handled by the guidelines that have been recently distributed regarding the matter. A think tank group in UK says the misreporting on the Tigray conflict require a broader look. It justifies how the Tigray conflict was misreported by various media. Ntayo Tamra tells us more from the post by the think tank.
UK's leading defense and security think tank, the Royal United Services Institute, says the current narratives of the Tigrayan conflict require a broader perspective and an understanding of the various interests at play in Ethiopia. The authors Anne Fitzgerald and Hugh Segal justify how the Tigray conflict was misreported by various media. Although the conflict was initiated by a planned attack by the Tigray People's Liberation Front (TPLF) on military outspots of the Ethiopian Federal Armed Forces North Command last November, yet on social media, keyboard warriors have worked hard to portray the TPLF's action as a defensive and preemptive attack to counter the contrived alleged threat of a combined assault by Ethiopia and Eritrea, they mention. Besides, the media reported as if serious allegations are also made of genocide, along with claims that Eritrean troops committed acts of sexual violence. Some, however, assert that the TPLF's unprovoked military attack on federal troops involved the illegal manufacture of bogus Eritrean uniforms in Tigrayan factories. The federal government, for his part, announced that tens of thousands of Eritrean refugees in the regional camps and over 10,000 prisoners being held by the TPLF in prisons still remain unaccounted, the authorities say. The think tank group further states officials in Addis Ababa emphasized that media reports continue to ignore many ground-based realities. These include the powerful effect of an entrenched 1 in 5 authoritarian intelligence network, where 1 person in every 5 is a spy for the Tigrayan government, a Marxist-Leninist control system developed in 2005 after the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front failed to secure any seats in Addis Ababa in the federal election. While the two narratives bear discrepancies, Western media seems to have chosen its side, portraying the TPLF as an underdog and being broadly credulous of its messaging, it indicated. While some external actors have rushed to judgment, accusing the Ethiopian government of genocide and of enlisting a foreign army to neutralize provincial opposition, the reality is sure to be more complex. Talking on the Ethio-Sudan border dispute, the authors remind readers that Sudan's military invaded and displaced Ethiopian farmers from their border vicinities, while Egypt's anti-Ethiopian rhetoric is becoming increasingly bellicose, with Cairo warning Addis that its historic unshared domination of the Nile waters is non-negotiable. The authorities advise if Western powers have legitimate and honest concerns about regional stability besides their economic interests, they should not rush to judgment on the ongoing Tigray conflict. Instead, they should make efforts to bolster and engage with the Democratic Federal Ethiopian state, which has already embarked on domestic social and political reforms and is clearly willing to engage in reasonable negotiations on the ground. This offers the best chance for the Horn of Africa to prosper.
Demonstrations were held today in different towns of Ethiopia's Amhara state, condemning ethnic-based killings of the people of Amhara. The huge rallies demanded the government to stop identity-based attacks, killings and displacement of the people of Amhara across the nation. Youth, women and other residents took part in the protest held in the towns of Bahadar, Dase, Wolda and Debre Marcos. The demonstrators asked that the government must immediately stop the ongoing killings of Amharas, their displacements and destruction of their properties.
Hi, my name is Brooke Thomas Haftweld. I was born and raised in the UK. I do not like what the Egyptians are doing to Ethiopia. This is my dam.
It's my dam. It's my dam.
It's my dam.
It's my dam. It's my dam.
It is my dam.
It is my dam. It's my dam.
I feel very proud that Ethiopia has gotten where she is now, because back in the days, obviously, Ethiopia didn't have many things. It was very a poor country, and now it's getting richer and richer because many more educated, smarter people are coming, and people are learning more things that Ethiopia is a very amazing country. We just have to figure it out, and we just have to show other countries that we can be better than America, better than...
Ethiopian opposition parties suggest postponement of voter registration for the upcoming general election. The number of